There was a heated discussion at a special meeting of the East Grand Forks City Council on Monday night regarding a proposed roundabout at the intersection of Reinhardt Drive and Bigland Road in East Grand Forks.
Number 6, consider adopting resolution number 17-10-78, authorizing the city engineer to submit an application to MnDOT for the 2017 local road improvement program funds for roundabout at the intersection of Bigland Road and Reinhardt Drive.
Move.
Moved by Demers.
May I make a comment?
Hang on a second, Henry.
Yes.
Pardon?
Moved by Demers, second by Vetter.
Yes.
Any discussion? Henry.
Mr. President and members of the council, I've had the opportunity of seeing a lot of roundabouts. I saw one in Thief River, Grand Forks. I've seen them in Twin Cities. I've seen them in Fargo, Moorhead. The thing that will happen there is you've got 4 nice homes. You've got people who live there and they like it there. They're seniors. They're people who were very influential in developing a first-class senior center. And what you're going to do is destroy their life. The other thing's going to happen is you're going to have to take 4 houses. People can say they can take part of it. You destroy property value. And you've got the convenience store. You're going to take and possibly get sued for loss of business, devaluation of business. You're going to goof up the parking lot on the senior center. The senior center is a tremendous asset to this community, and I'm strongly opposed to it. You can go down the highway, Bigland Highway, and that's where it should be. And frankly, if some of you people met some of these people out there, you wouldn't even consider this. I can't understand why you're going to go here. I told the engineers last week that they went down the highway fine, I'd support it. But you're going to end up probably with $1 million. Where's $1 million going to come from? We don't have money to extend the industrial park. You've got a man back there that's working, trying to expand the industrial park. It's real fine to vote for something, but you better understand 2 things. How does it affect us financially? How does it affect the people that take and live there? I got friends that live all around that area. And you're going to find out that it's a mistake. This is a good time to not make mistakes.
Mr. Vetter.
Thank you, Mr. President. In my time here, we've done a number of studies on different roads, and we did do a study on Bigland Road. One of the recommendations was a roundabout at Bigland and Reinhardt. I find it hard to believe that we can't rely on the experts that we hire to do these studies. We spend a lot of money on them. I, for one, am going to rely on those studies. And they said we need a roundabout at Reinhardt and Bigland. I don't think that we need to take any property to put that roundabout in, and that's yet to be seen. So for you to fearmonger and say we have to buy out 4 people is uncalled for. As far as Orton's, I think the easier access in and out of Bigland and Reinhardt and Fifth is going to be a benefit to their business. And as far as I'm concerned, the constituents that I represent continually complain that they can't access Bigland Road. And this roundabout will help them access Bigland Road, and therefore I am for this project. The dollars, this is a grant for up to $1 million to help us build this thing. The last estimate that we had was just over $1 million to build it. And so therefore, city money, if we get approved for this grant, there shouldn't be that much outlay in city money to build it. So again, I'm going on record to support this project. Thank you.
Mayor Gander.
I just also want to make it clear the reason this thing keeps coming back to life. In this case, there's nobody sitting up here and no city staff people that are actively trying to resurrect this. The reason we're having this conversation right now is we became aware of some funds that are administered through the state. There's some federal funds also. A funding source kind of came out of nowhere as a possibility of doing this. So there's nobody here that's just keeps trying to bring it back as a source of irritation to the group or to the community. If it's going to happen, we'll try to do it as absolutely affordably as we can, bringing in outside dollars and really minimizing the impact on the local taxpayers. It's still going to be years away, if at all. But that's what brought it back to the conversation, is this pool of funds that came almost to us. I mean, we became aware of it. It's competitive. We'd have to apply and may have a shot at building this with minimal local cost. It's the only reason we're having this conversation again right now.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? Mr. Riepel?
Voting on this doesn't guarantee that we're doing the actual roundabout. We're just basically applying for funding, which it's up to $1 million. But as I said, it could be split $200,000 per community, $100,000 per community. So there's no problem applying for the funding. But once we figure out if we get any, that's if we get any, then we figure out what it's going to cost us to do this project. If the cost is cost prohibitive, the answer is no. We have to be fair with that too.
Yep.
All we're doing is taking a look at this. Voting yes or no doesn't mean you're voting for the project.
Ms. Ellis?
And just to be clear, the state of Minnesota just came out with a study today stating that roundabouts, and they've studied all 150 some in the state right now, found to be safer than a majority of your signalized intersections and your full four-way stops. So I'm just letting you know that right now, if we were to do something, we'd have to go through the intersection control evaluation, or ICE. And once you go through that, obviously you have to prove that a roundabout isn't necessary before you look at those other options. So right now, kind of our option there, if we feel that it needs to be considered because it's a safety hazard, our two best options right now are a roundabout or the do-nothing approach. So that kind of puts us in that scenario right now. We did have an ICE conducted there, and the recommendation from the intersection control was also a roundabout before a signalized intersection or stop signs. So the fact that we're even trying to ask for this right now is kind of what we're at this point, you know. So if we're looking at trying to improve it in terms of access and safety, this is our option. So this, and if we don't receive the funds, then it would go back to a do-nothing approach. So we wouldn't be looking at any other options at this time based on what we're required to do for Minnesota DOT. So.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else have any comments or questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Olsted?
Yes.
Grassel?
Yes.
Demers?
Yes.
Vetter?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Tweeten?
No.
Motion is carried. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Everybody Grassel, second by Demers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Meeting is now adjourned.